¿Cómo estás, el jefe José Benavidez, Senior?
Aquí estamos trabajando duro. Un saludo para toda la raza. Man, to be honest with you, man, I didn't want to be this way, man. You guys never see me doing this kind of shit, man. But it gets to a point sometimes, that, man, I mean, they're getting the animal out of me, man. These guys are always talking a lot of shit and excuses and this and that. And now, man, I can't contain myself anymore, man. I gotta let them know that we're here, man. Keep hiding. You can run, but you can't hide.
Absolutely. And David, Animal. Yeah, David is a monster, man. And I think we all know it. The fans have known it for a while. And I think the boxers know it for a while. Now we have, it's just out there in the open because Canelo has just been a high profile fighter for a few years now. And with him ducking David, I think that really highlights David's abilities and skills. My question that I want to ask first is, when did you realize that Canelo was avoiding and ducking you?
Well, I mean, I could have been in line to fight with him for the WBC title. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities to fight for him. Just him saying that he doesn't want to fight Mexicans. Obviously, what other Mexican is there at 168? It's me and probably Haymon at 160. If there's little shit like this, I mean, I don't think he's avoiding me, man. It's just I think he's trying to take out, the weaker competition first. I feel like, in my opinion, that's how it is. But I feel like the fans eventually they're gonna call for that fight so much that eventually I'm gonna end up fighting Canelo soon. But what I am gonna do right now is, like if I get a fight with Charlo, I beat Charlo. I get a fight with Plant, I beat Plant. You know what I mean? I feel like that right there is gonna. If I beat those two fighters alone, that's just gonna. Nobody else is gonna want to see no other fight between Canelo or anybody else. Right. Until I get that fight. So that's the plan right now, beating those two guys, and then I'm gonna have to get that fight. I would have to get that fight. There's no way around that fight no more. If I beat those two guys, and Canelo has to fight me.
Yeah, Demetrius Andrade has moved up 154, 160. I mean, he's constantly moving up as well. And I just saw an article earlier today that says he's thinking about retiring because everybody's ducking him and nobody wants to fight him. Where does Demetrius Andrade fit into all of this?
He's a super good fighter, man. I've been watching Demetrius Andrade since a while, man. It's just that it's so unfortunate because he's so inactive. But I feel like he's a great fighter as well, man. But I would love to get a fight in with him and all those guys too. That dude, I feel like he would put a great fight against any of those guys. Charlo, Daniel Jacobs. He was supposed to fight Billy Joe Sanders. I was excited to see that fight. That fight ended up not happening. So, I feel like he's a great fighter as well.
Yeah. One of the things, me and Fred, we were having this conversation a few days ago, and I know that you're under Al Haymon. When people say talk to Al, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, I feel like Al is the advisor. I think Luis de Cubas and all the other promoters, they handle everything, but Al is the one who really sets everything up. I feel like he's the main brains of the operation. But a lot of people always say, I called Al this and that, but they're full of shit. And Al really don't talk to people like that.
Like I said, it's all about the fighters.
We've been with PBC, for a while, like 5-6 years. I've only talked to Al Haymon twice. So Al Haymon is not, it's not that easy to get a hold of Al Haymon. So people saying, I talked to Al this and that. It's all bullshit.
We as managers make those fights. Like I said, I'll repeat it again. It's all about if the fighter wants to fight. It's so easy. We're in the same promotion company. Shouldn't be any problems. But like Caleb Plant says, he has bigger fish to fry, like Truex. Come on, man. Who are you trying to lie? I mean, my respect for Truex, man. He's a good fighter, a very good person. But, man, he's going to win easy, in my opinion, He has to look impressive. If not, you think he's going to be ready for Canelo? But we make it happen. If David wants to fight, he'll talk to me. Well, I'll talk to his manager, and we'll make it happen. But if the fighter doesn't want to fight, nobody can make him fight, So, that's the problem.
So, I just wanted to clarify that. So, if David wanted to fight against, I don't know, it didn't matter whoever, as long as David is willing to fight, then Al was willing to make the fight happen.
Of course.
It makes sense. At the end of the day, this is a business. If I want to fight Charlo, which I've been, I've been calling for, I've been pressuring it, this past week. why, you know, Al Heyman, you know, he wants to make money in the sport. He wants to bring all this money to the sport. I feel like that's one of the biggest fights that could be made this year. So if that fight doesn't get made, it's not because of me. I want to get this fight done. You know, if it doesn't get made, it's because of that side over there. I told him, I said I'm willing. You know, after I take care of my business, March 13th, I'm all up for to fight Charlo. So like, if it doesn't happen, it's not for me. You guys already heard it first.
I think, you know, right now the problem is social media, man. You know, everybody's talking a lot of shit. Everybody wants to fight everybody. Send me contracts and this. Motherfucker, we don't sign contracts. You know, the fighters don't sign contracts to nobody. Those are the promoters, you know. I think everybody are using social media just to talk a lot of shit. Like Berlanga, you know, says that he wants to fight David. My respect, he's a good kid. You know, he's doing a good job. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. I called him to give me his manager's number. And I talked to his manager, and he said that, yeah, he's not ready, you know, that, yeah, maybe in the future, you know. I said, well, we don't have an opponent yet, you know. You guys want to do it? Let's do it. He said, nah, Berlanga's crazy.
And that led me to the last chat. And Pancho Esparza says, tell David I'm his biggest fan.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate your support, brother.
Hey, so to build on what DB said, so when a fighter says, I'll talk to Al Heyman, that's a synonym for ducking, right?
Of course.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, a lot of people are full of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got their own promoters. Al Heyman, I don't think they talk directly to the fighter unless you're
Like I said, you know, who wouldn't buy, you know, that fight, you know, with David Benavidez and Caleb Plant? That's a really good fight. It's already there, you know. Before, you know, maybe a year, 2 years before, you know, it wasn't that exciting. But now is the time, man. Even with Charlo, we got other fighters, you know. What's his name? Sullivan is coming down to 168, I think. That's another good fight. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, like I said, you know, we want to make history. We want to show the people what David has, you know. And we're not scared. You know, a loss is nothing, bro. As long as you give a good performance, the people love you. They'll be happy, you know, to support you. But we're here to give them what they want. Good, exciting fights, man.
Right.
Fights that, you know, they'll stand up and start screaming. And I remember that fight with Andy Reese and Joshua, man. I was like, oh, shit. It was so exciting, dude. That's what we want to give the people. We want to give them exciting fights. We're not scaring nobody, man. We train so hard, and, you know, I believe that David has all the tools right now to be the king at 168. And I think we want to fight whoever. It doesn't matter who, you know. Just throw some balls and let's do it.
Right. Birdman says, salute to David's dad for spitting the truth. Us fans of the sport need to hear that and see the effort from the fighters. Yeah, man. I think because we talk about this every night. I'm on 5 nights a week, man. And we go back and forth about these fighters just hiding behind a veil. You know what I mean? And fighters like you, and actually up until this point, you know, Caleb Plant's been saying, like, man, bring him on, bring him on, bring him on.
Hey, you know what? After this fight, his show, you call him, call us, and see who the fuck who's lying. You know, let's do it. You know,
Caleb's probably gonna come on tomorrow night, so it's gonna be good. I'll call him.
Exactly. You know, give us a call. You know, we'll be there and take the fight. You know, don't be scared. Let's do it. You know, I want to do something like what Mike Tyson did. You know, put you in the spot, motherfucker.
Right.
No. You know, he's David's been a bad boy. Is he a champ? He doesn't have a belt. Oh, I got bigger fish to fry. You know, he'll end up fighting another guy with 4 or 5 losses. You know, maybe 40 years old next fight. You know, just to keep him busy. You know. So what do you mean bigger fish to fry? You know, what are you talking about?